Guys, today we got the engine coming for the monster truck and we got to lift it off with that, and I'm a complete beginner driving it.
It's a worry. Health and safety at its finest.
You ready? Oh!
Oh, man. Pretty, isn't it?
Next, we got to lift the engine out of the crate. I'm scared as soon as we lift it, it's going to try and fall over. So this is going to be sketchy. If it goes wrong, it's going to be really bad. I was going to lift it off of these. I rang up Tony from Swamp Thing. He said, no, do not lift it off of these.
What did Ian say?
Ian said, don't lift it off of those. If it falls on the floor, it's Ian's fault.
It's right, it's not mine.
Oh man, look at that horsepower. My bot is going like this. That makes that look like a mouse.
Yeah, Kev's got shiny balls.
Would you sit on that?
Maybe.
Would you watch?
Of course.
Oh.
That's trying to fall over. Is that safe?
Yeah, it'll be alright.
Right. Up.
It's sketchy.
Feels heavy. Oh, that made me jump. Right back. No idea what it is. Oh,
There's lots of
the
them.
wheel stiffeners. So these are the accumulator caps. So that goes on there in case you blow the lid off. This stops it flying off and hitting someone. It says limit straps, so we've got to be careful not to hurt them. I thought these were going to be yellow, but this is actually nicer. They go on there and there, and it stops the shocks falling out and ripping the piston off inside there. 2-inch corner. Oh, it's Christmas every day. Oh, that must be torque converter. Here we have the gearbox.
All I've got is his arse. I can't see anything.
Should we just look at the box? Oh, we've done it!
See? Oh man, it's my husband.
Found it. These, you have to weld these onto the chassis. Well, these supercharger straps to go on. Oh, more of them. Sweet. That is what we need to mount all our gauges and clocks. Oh, goodness. I don't know what that's for.
That's your wheelie bar.
Oh, you can bolt it on the engine, so you've got a little movie roundy thing.
If you'd known that, it would have made it a lot easier, wouldn't it?
We got oh, just brake tubes, so we got to put the end on. This must be brake line stuff. Kevin and Noisy air filter sock. Ah, we know what that is.
Well, it's a cap of some sorts, isn't it?
Go on, then, where's it go?
I don't know where it
That's
goes.
your little mission. Equal rights and everything, so you should know. It's like you're not allowed to call it a manhole cover anymore. You are really close.
Huh?
Hey! Oh, start motor.
Motor.
Starter motor. Americans tell me off and say you're not supposed to call it a motor, but then you shouldn't really call it a motor. It's a motor.
Technically, it's a motor, I believe.
Is it?
Yes. Oh. Thank God for the steel toe cap.
That's quite small, isn't it?
That's what she said.
And then we got a lead, some sort of a charge lead or something. Apparently it's got a block heater on the engine. This must be power steering pump, I think. Is that power steering pump?
That looks like it.
Oh no, that's the fuel pump. We're learning.
We're getting there.
So we have a fuel pump and a safety cut-off. I think that's what it is anyway. This must be the power steering pump. Oh, here's all the fittings we need for all the water pipes, everything. Should be the whole lot in there. And then that, I don't know what that is, but there's no power steering pump. Oh, there's a flywheel.
It's like a big gear.
That's a way bugger wheel. It is.
Oh, okay.
Ah, there we go. Well, that is it. Let's get building.
Thrust those hips, Kev. Jesus, you don't want to drop that one on your foot, do you?
Right, there we go. There is that. Oh, is that it?
Spin it. Should feel good. There you go.
That's on now.
That went down to...
There we go. Now it's on.
That's on.
Oh, guys, check that out. In a minute, we're going to be taking that and fitting it into the monster. I've got a little bit of welding to do on the seat frame, so we're going to do that before the engine's in, and then we're going to attempt to fit it. But before that, let's have a quick montage. Guys, this thing is absolutely massive. Look at the size of it. So I'm going to try and explain to you what it all is and what it all does, but I'm a complete novice, so I'm not really 100% sure what it all is. So if I said... So it's a 540 cubic inch engine built by Richard Midget, who builds all the Monster Jam engines. It's supercharged and alcohol injected V8. It's based on a Chevy engine, but I think there's nothing on here actually Chevy. Everything is aftermarket. We've got aftermarket heads, aftermarket crank, ignition, block, alloy rods. These here are straps in case the supercharger blows off to hold it on. It's got mechanical fuel injection, and if you look here, you can see the injectors going in here. And if you look in here, you'll see them poking out just there, look. So as it sits, it's probably running around about 1,500 horsepower. If we change this supercharger pulley here for a smaller one, it's going to overdrive it, spin the supercharger faster. We can suck more air into the engine or force it in, and that should get our horsepower up to around about 2,000. Tony from Swamp Thing reckons if we change the supercharger and do a few little minor adjustments, we might be able to get it up to about 4,000 horsepower. Now, we can't run that much power in shows, but we can in our backyard. And I'm planning, when we get the new backyard, is to have a full-size Monster Jam World Final style Monster Jam track in my backyard. It's got a mechanical fuel pump that drives off of this here, and that is the fuel pump here with a safety shut off. I've got to put a wire on here, a little pull cord inside the cab so you can shut that off if anything goes wrong. And then down here we've got the power steering pump for the front steering. It's not on there yet, but once we get it, it's going to go on there. And over here we have the transmission. So this is based on a Power Glide. It's fully custom built. We've got a beefed up casing. If you've got a stock casing, you've got to run a blanket in case they explode. On these, they've got the heavy duty casing anyway, so you don't have to. There's the torque converter. We got the flywheel up here, which weighs like literally nothing, and I'm not fully sure which way round it goes on. If you know which way it goes, let me know in the comments, because if you look at this tooth thing here, the starter ring gear, it's actually offset. Look, it's sticking out this way. The other side here, it's almost flush. I don't know if it's supposed to go that way or that way. And I think to lift it in, we're gonna have to use the forklift. But the trouble is, the forklift does not fit here. Even if we get these tyres out of the way, there's not enough room to get the engine in and then swing it round and get it in. So we're gonna have to put the forklift in there and put the monster truck here. Trouble is, we can't really move it. So we're gonna have to try and pick the front end up with a forklift. No idea it's gonna work, but if you don't try, you don't know. So we've got the welder fired up. Then I'm gonna try and weld up as much of that seat frame as I can. And then later on, we can take the seat out and weld the rest of it up then. It is engine fitting day, and we're trying to debate where we're going to lift it from and what we're taking off. To fit this in, we're leaving all the supercharger and everything on. We've got about that much room. So most people take the whole supercharger off to fit it in. But we're going to try and get it in there without taking anything off. So we're thinking, make a couple of little bits of flat bar on there, put a shackle through there, and then we can get a fork there, sling round, and it's going to be easy. We've got to cut a little bit off of this engine plate here. This is the engine plate to match the chassis. This engine plate's already on it, and this engine plate is to match all this alternator and everything. And it's also got a little bit shaved off here to clear the cylinder head. So all we got to do, cut a little bit off of here, and then we can lift it in. Yes! Looking at it, guys, I'm thinking this is going to have to come off. We've only got a couple of inches to spare for having that on there. And I was thinking, have one fork here, then have the strap going round. But it's going to put this strap at a funny angle. And I think it's probably going to end up smashing into here and into here. So here's what we've got to cut off. And tool-wise, we've got a few options. So I think number one choice is going to be my jigsaw. If that don't do it, maybe the reciprocating saw, but that looks a bit vicious. And if none of that does it, then I suppose we've got to do it with this. Boom! Now, now it should fit. So next, we've got to get the helmet off. So there's a couple of screws in here that were really hard to get to. Got to make a special little spanner to get in there and take them off. And next, we've got to take these ones off. A couple of fuel pipes and the whole thing, hopefully, will lift off. You know what that looks like? It looks like a shredder. You know them shredder videos?
Yeah, oh, I love them.
So while Ian is removing the Kevin's drinking tea.
Yeah, you will.
There's not much space.
Yes, skills, see? Oh no.
Next, we got to get the body off because the engine's going to hit it with.
It's free.
That's worrying, isn't it? It's just dangling there.
I think we got it forward. Look at the gap down here, Claire. Look. That was supposed to be not there.
Side shift. That way.
So there's only millimetres to spare all the way around, and the novice forklift driver did not put a scratch in it anywhere.
Oh Jesus, that's so tight. Concentration on his face. He's got a proper serious look on his face.
Down.
Oh, you need a plaster.
Health and safety. Health and safety.
Hey!
She's in.
Exactly the same spot where he came from. And next, we've got some little screws in here. They're an absolute pig to get to, so we made this.
Back in the hole.
Next, we've got to fit the fuel pump assembly onto the engine. So here we're attaching the fuel hoses. So next, we've got to plumb in all the water. We've got to put an accu sump in there. We've got a few other bits we've got to plumb up. Some of the stuff we have, some of the stuff we haven't. Oh, we can get these on. So there we go, we've got the front ones on. The idea with these is to limit the travel of the shocks, because if you haven't got these and the shocks get to their full travel, there's a piston inside here. It's only held on with a little bolt or a nut or something, and it can easily get ripped off. This protects it. Probably going to put a zip tie around here just to keep them together. And next, we're going to put the back ones on, and the rear ones are slightly longer because we've got longer travel shocks on the back. Boom! There we go, the back ones are on there. The wheels and tyres have been picked up to be modified, so once they come back, then we can put those on. But we still can't get it running just yet because we're waiting on parts. We're waiting for the the power unit for the MSD coil, whatever it's called. We need flywheel bolts. We need torque converter bolts. I still got to do a load of plumbing, but I don't want to rush it. I want to take my time and do it properly. And although we was going to get it running in this video, you guys desperately want to see someone monster truck footage. I asked in my community, I said, guys, what do you want? Do you want the video now and the running video later, or do you want to wait a few weeks and then we'll combine it all? And 99% of you guys wanted to see the video now. So I'm going to go upstairs now and edit my video. And then when the rest of the parts turn up, then we're going to get it running. We're going to get it all plumbed in. And then that is going to be another video, probably in the next few weeks. Just subscribe and smash the bell so you don't miss it.